A father of 3 victims of convicted child molester Larry Nassar was charged at Larry. There he is. His name is Randall Margraves, and here's the video of what happened during the sentencing hearing. Let's take a look.
I would ask you to, as part of this sentencing, to grant me 5 minutes in a locked room with this demon. Would you do that?
That is not.
Yes or no?
No, sir.
Would you give me 1 minute?
You know that I can't do that. That's not how it is.
Well, I'm going to have to get something.
Stay down. I understand.
Let me have that son of a bitch.
I understand.
I want that.
Stop fighting. Put your hands behind your back.
I want that son of a bitch.
Put your hands behind your back. I don't.
Give me 1 minute with that pastor.
Go ahead. You're good.
That's something you don't see every day. Just a reaction to that video.
It's so hard to watch. It's so, I can feel his pain. I can feel that anger. And I think we saw his daughters there in the frame next to him and just seeing tears in their eyes. I mean, Larry Nassar is a monster, so you can totally understand and empathize with this father. Any father would want to do the exact same thing, especially when 3 of your children have been molested by the same demon. That was such an appropriate word choice for this man.
That was just a super dad moment too. I was just like, burr, 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 burr. Like you saw the cape on him as he was flying across the room, and his daughters, with yes, tears in their eyes, but also like, that is a dad who's gonna show up for you. Can we talk about how many people had to jump on him? Like
infinity, a
really?
million.
He's a big guy.
Like my favorite was why there was one guy at the very end who just like put his hand on his head, like just in case you needed a 5th person on top of you. He's restrained.
So I wanted to have that moment because what's weird is at the end he puts his hand on the guy's head and then taps it. And then but it's weird. It's both this. You can hear, actually, I could hear the police officers or the bailiffs or whoever they are, as they attack them, being like, I understand.
Really, you could hear that?
I could hear that. Yeah, he was like, I understand, sir. And then trying to detain him and get him placed. The face, the specific look on the face of one of his daughters, the one on the far right, was a mix of like, there's a weird like giggle in the crowd as he's like, I would like 5 minutes alone.
Yeah.
It's just, from just like a video perspective, it's some of the most compelling video because it's such like a nuanced reaction from everyone, no matter how many like, court procedural dramas you see. I've never seen anything like as palpably tense. The daughter is kind of smiling as he's saying, I want 5 minutes alone. And then you watch everyone realize that he's being absolutely serious. The detail of him having his like electricians union, I'm a blue collar dad.
I love that too, for sure.
As he goes for it.
Also, I kind of feel like, he is very far away from Larry. It's a little bit of a like, I have to do this to show my daughters that I am serious, that I will defend them. Like, he knows he's probably gonna get restrained on the way from where he was to like actually swinging or hitting Larry or whatever. But it was like, this is something I'm gonna do, and they will never. Nothing can take away what they went through, but like having your dad there, especially when what Larry did was go behind the backs of parents. And as we know, so many parents were actually in the room when he was molesting his victims. And of course, the other added layer of this is that because Larry was a US Olympics verified, doctor, that parents had to kind of, and patients and these young gymnasts had to go along with it because it was like, all right, well, this is the guy who's going to give me like, a good rating if, I look strong or I'm in good physical shape to, be a gymnast. And so it's just that added sort of, disgusting nature of this whole thing. And I'm sure as a parent, knowing that you let this, whether obviously unwillingly happen, must eat you up inside as well.
Oh, totally. He was, that moment right there, obviously it was a statement. I think he knew that he wasn't going to actually reach him and get his arms around him, but that was almost just every parent out there, a voice, a symbol for every parent who's ever experienced something like this or fears that they could experience something like that. But what I would say to this father, look, I hope that he doesn't experience any real consequences for what he did. I don't think anybody wants to see that.
Agreed.
But I would say redirect that anger and that vitriol towards all these organizations that shielded and protected this predator for decades. USA Gymnastics, the trainers on the ground at the ranch, the coaches, and even up to the national level, the people overseeing USA Olympics. That's where we need to still direct a lot of this frustration in order to make sure that this doesn't happen again.
Yeah,
absolutely.
There is going to be, Friday, the US Olympic Committee announced an independent investigation. They hired an outside firm to look into what the Olympic Committee and USA Gymnastics knew about Nassar's abuse and when. Also, this is the actual statement from the father, Randall Margraves, in the wake of all this. He said, I lost control. I apologize 100 times, Margraves said. I'm definitely calmed down. I'm embarrassed. I'm not here to upstage my daughters, which that is, I think that's the central thing you want to hear, and that's you see him feeling that. I'm here to help them heal. The judge also released him with no charges or fines, quote, given the nature of the case, is what CNN said. Now, as he was walking out, I don't know if you guys saw the whole video, Michigan Assistant Attorney General Angela Povolatis said, you cannot behave like this to him as he's walking out, and he turned his head and said, you haven't lived through it, lady. But then afterwards she says, she turns toward the audience and says, I don't want to see another parent get arrested. Don't give him power over you. She said it very aggressively and she was frustrated. And that's one response. There's another response from The Rock tweeted. We have that, The Rock.
Oh, what does The Rock have to say?
Dwayne said, we all understand this father's action. Nassar's punishment will go far beyond sentencing. Behind bars, he'll soon know what hell means. He'll be well taken care of.
But it's
like out of a Rock movie.
Yeah, right? Just like the avatar, his profile pic almost beat me up.
He will soon know what hell means. What was his last, Jumanji in prison with Larry Nassar. I would just say though, obviously that directing all of our hate to this one guy is really easy.
Right.
But the fact is that young girls are victimized every day. And again, just underlining what Simone, you said about how is it that multiple hundreds of young women.
200.
200, that doesn't happen without an insane amount of neglect. And so I think it's important to keep our eyes on these larger systems and structures that don't have it in place to make sure that abuse, especially structures that are dealing with children, that abuse is not happening.
You just watched the video by the Young Turks, the home of the revolution. If you'd like to get the full show, come join us and become a member. tytnetwork.com/join.